Hey guys, my name is Cougar Draven, and welcome to Thinking Out Loud About Star Trek. This is episode number 2 of Season 1, dealing with the episode Charlie X. So this episode, man, this episode was kind of difficult to watch at points, because, I mean, it was creepy as hell. It was creepy as hell. Well, you know, this originally aired Thursday, September 15th, 1966. And it begins on stardate 1533.6. So, you know, the episode starts with the Enterprise getting a transfer of a passenger by the name of Charlie Evans from a probe ship called the Antares, which carries 20 people. You know, it's a small probe ship. They couldn't take him where he needed to go, so they transferred him to the Enterprise. We're going to take him to some place called Colony 5, which is apparently where he was marooned on this planet called Thasus. He was marooned in, you know, basically as an infant, and learned how to talk by, he says he learned how to talk by watching videos and things like that. So he was basically an infant, basically a baby or a young kid or something. And they found him there as a 17-year-old kid, and they wanted to take him to his closest relatives who were on this place called Colony 5. So they're going to take him, and the Enterprise does this. And it starts creepy as hell. Like, it includes, like, the first time Charlie sees Yeoman Rand, he looks at her, he's like, are you a girl? And then he looks at Kirk, and he's like, is that a girl? And Kirk says, that's a girl. And it's like, wow, we're not even 3 minutes into this episode and it's already creepy as fuck. That's intense. There's a lot of shit going on. Like, he has abilities. He can make things happen, kind of. Like, he can control the reactions of people. Not so much the reactions, but he can control, like, basically, he just, you know, it's like Spock is a little bit suspicious of him at first, which makes sense. But then what really, you know, like, a lot of other things happen. Like, there's this really fucking weird scene in the Canteen, I believe is what it's called on the Enterprise. Might be, I don't know, the mess hall, basically, where Spock is playing a Vulcan instrument of some variety, and Uhura starts singing along to it, I guess, and that's a little bit weird, but then Charlie shows up, and she starts singing about him, and he gets a little bit upset, and so he blocks her voice. I guess she can't sing anymore. She doesn't appear to be having trouble breathing, but she can't sing. And then while that's happening, he goes over to Yeoman Rand, who he has developed an instantaneous crush on, and starts, like, you know, doing card tricks where he flips the card over and it's a picture of her, and that's creepy as fuck. I mean, just let's not even lie about that. That's creepy as balls. But so that happens, and then, you know, then the whole time Kirk, Spock, and McCoy are talking about how he needs a good, a good mentor figure to learn how to conduct himself as an adult, and, you know, Bones suggests Kirk, obviously, because he's like, oh, I think you should have a strong father figure, and McCoy and Kirk is just like, nah. But he sits him down. Oh, but while they're talking about it, while they're talking about it, Charlie comes up to the bridge to talk to Kirk about a thing, and it turns out that he'd been observing the Enterprise crew doing things, and one of the things he'd observed them doing was congratulating each other on a job well done with a nice swat on the ass. You know, as football players do. You see it on TV every day, but this is, you know, that's the first time he'd ever seen two people talk to each other. And so he wanted to meet Janice Rand at the in the recreational room where everybody was, and he concluded it with that, and she got a little bit upset, understandably so. And he went to talk to Kirk, and Kirk was just like, yeah, don't do that, and don't do it because you don't hit a woman, and it's really impolite, and that's not how you conduct yourself. And then it turns out, and then Kirk is called to the bridge. The Antares had a message for him, and while the Antares was trying to warn him of something, it's blown up. Which is a little bit disturbing, and it's kind of a problem. So, and then later on, Kirk and Spock are playing chess. Charlie shows up. Kirk bails. Charlie starts playing chess with Spock, who checkmates him in like 4 moves, walks away, and Charlie reacts by melting all of the pieces that Spock was using. Clearly not a stable individual. Just like there is a lot of stuff. Like at one point, Yeoman Rand introduces him to a younger girl who is about his age, who seems to be really interested in him. He completely ignores her in favor of Yeoman Rand, and then later on in the episode, when he's starting to be creepy and in control, he turns her into an iguana. He's unsettled and unstable and all that stuff, and there are some good things. There's some good that comes out of this episode. It's not just a creepy kid being creepy. There is at one point Kirk says one of the best lines I've heard from the show, which is there's a million things in this world that you can have and a million things you can't, and you have to learn to live with it. And that's, I think, the message of the episode is you can't always get what you want, and trying to force yourself to get what you want is only going to cause you more pain and cause pain to the people around you. And like doubly so if you're trying to force someone else to make your life desired, that never works out the way that you want it to. And I think that's a good point. I don't know. And at the end of the episode, towards the end of the episode, Kirk takes him to, the middle of the episode. Pardon me. Kirk takes him to the gym to work on some martial arts stuff, and he shows him how to do some falls, and he was gonna practice some throws and self-defense, and you gotta learn how to fall before you can learn how to defend yourself, because if you only know how to fight and you don't know how to fall, you're gonna get your ass whooped. But so he's teaching him how to do some falls, and then he does some throws with a guy over there with one of the crew members named Sam. And Kirk is like, "Come on, Charlie, give it a try." And Charlie comes out and gets thrown pretty easily, and Sam starts laughing because he's like, it was funny. Kid was trying to punch up, and Kirk is, granted this is the second episode featuring Jim Kirk, but he is, as we will see, he is the strongest. Kirk is the strongest there is. And so, Kid had no chance, and Sam was chuckling about it, and Charlie made him vanish in front of Kirk. So that was fun. And then he Kirk and Spock and McCoy, the power trio, talk about this, and Spock and McCoy both say it's like you have to be an authority, but he respects you, but you have to remain an authority figure that he respects, or he will destroy you too. And then Charlie just straight up starts taking control of the full ship and attacking people whenever they annoy him, which is pretty quickly, pretty easily. And then, this goes on, and Kirk is going for brinksmanship and basically trying to push Charlie's abilities to the limits. And it's kind of a back and forth kind of thing when the what was it? The Thasian? The Thasian that Charlie was living, that Charlie had been saved by, showed up, and basically he said, we're sorry that all of this happened, we'll take him back now because he's too dangerous to be out here alone. And they take him. And that's it, and they restore all the crew and stuff, so, I mean, That's, I guess, a bonus. Total loss of life was only the 20 people on the Antares, but that's still a lot of people for a Star Trek episode, at least early seasons. It's a lot of people to die in one episode. It was all in one fell swoop. But everyone on the Enterprise was fine because nobody was actually killed, and the Thasian brought them all back. So, you know, nobody on the Enterprise. No red shirts died today. But yeah, this is how I'll do it. It's a bit of a shorter episode today. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have any comments on the theme of the episode, the idea that you have to get used to, what you can and cannot do. There are some, you have to really think about some definitions about things, because that's a physical possibility thing more than anything else. Rules and objective morality don't really apply here. You are technically able to do things, but when the ability to do things infringes upon the rights and abilities of others is when you run into some problems. And if you have a comment about that, leave a comment. Subscribe if you want to see more like this. It's a Tuesday episode, so I will see you guys tomorrow with episode number 3, which is Where No Man Has Gone Before. Until next time, my name's Cougar Driven. Peace.